Get started. Let's kind of give them, let's walk them through. Can we do that? Is that okay with you all? That we walk you through? Let's go, Law.
Okay, so as you guys know, Coach has his other health issues, his vascular stuff. So every year, Coach goes for a CT scan of his vascular pattern to make sure the blood clots are away. So with this scan, everything turned out really great from the vascular side. About 2 weeks later, we get a text from his primary care doctor that said, I need to talk to you and Coach. We need to refer you guys to a urologist. So about 3 days later, we go see a urologist. They go in for a quick procedure. The urologist told us, hey, within 10 minutes, I can tell you guys if he's gonna need another procedure or if we just need to do these follow-up appointments. And the doctor told us, okay, you guys are going to need another procedure. I'm going to refer you to my colleague, Dr. Kurkasia. But at this point, you have a bladder tumor. And from there, we'll go get it removed. And then Dr. Kurkasia, it was, go ahead.
Yeah, so we proceeded with removal of the bladder tumor. It showed a very aggressive
Let's go backwards because you guys gave me options that scared me to death.
Well, once we knew.
We'll get there. I'll get there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We removed the tumor. It was very high grade, invading through the bladder wall, not into the muscle layer, something we call very high risk, non-muscle invasive bladder cancer. So we did discuss options. We discussed some options of treatment in the bladder, and we discussed bladder removal as well. Given his commitments to his family and to the team, elected to undergo a bladder removal. We performed a full robot-assisted laparoscopic bladder removal and creation of a new bladder. And I am pleased to report that the results from the surgery are that he is cured from the cancer.
You can clap, it's okay.
Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth, as well as much respect and honors to the brothers that are pushing this truth and sincerity across the four winds of this earth and risking their lives and freedom to do so. I would also like to give much honors and respect to the brothers and sisters that are of the hopeful elect that are doing their very best to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High to the best of their abilities. Shalom. As you saw in this short news clipping that I just shared with you, and by the way, this is actually a fairly new news clipping. It's probably no more than a day old. But it just came out that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, he's recovering from, I believe what they said was bladder cancer. According to this news clipping, they had found a tumor on his bladder. And so, and they said it was a cancerous tumor. And so as a result, they had to remove his bladder. And so right now, according to the news clipping, Deion Sanders, he has an artificial bladder right now due to having cancer, okay? Now here it is over, I want to say maybe the past 4 or 5 years, Deion Sanders, his health has been on a steady decline. It's just been going downhill. Within the past 4 or 5 years, I mean, we've been hearing about Deion Sanders, being in and out of the hospital. Here it is. I want to say it came out within the past 4 or 5 years that Deion Sanders had diabetes. Also, too, within the past 4 or 5 years, they had to amputate some of Deion Sanders' toes. I want to say it also came out that he had some blood clots in his legs. And so as a result, they had to remove some blood clots from his legs. And so his legs are all sliced up and filleted up, and everything. His legs look, just look a hot mess, And I'm not trying to be funny at all. I mean, his legs look filleted up and everything. It's very gross. But, also, too, within the past 4 or 5 years, just recently, I mean, with this new article right here, it's just come out that he's recovering from cancer, okay? And so within the past 4 or 5 years, Deion Sanders, his health has been on a steady decline, And Deion Sanders is very proud. But, the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai is bringing him down. You just have to stand on the truth and call it like it is. Now, here it is, during that C-scamdemic, Deion Sanders, he was promoting that Beetlejuice for Esau, okay? And Deion Sanders, he even According to Deion Sanders, he even drinks some of that Beetlejuice. I have an article that I want to bring out. Bear with me. Yeah, this is an article right here, and this is the Clarion Ledger. And this article is dated August the 20th, 2021. So this was during the C-scandemic. And I'm going to just read just a little bit of it, and I'm going to be very careful with the words that I say, because y'all know how these devils like to get down, especially when you start talking about this particular topic right here. But the title of the article says, what Jackson State football coach Deion Sanders said about the Beetlejuice in Mississippi. Okay. Okay, right here it says 2 weeks before Jackson State football season opener, Coach Deion Sanders is encouraging the public to get the Beetlejuice. Okay. It says Jackson State corporate sponsor Walmart came to campus on Friday to offer free Beetlejuices from 9 to 4 p.m. Sanders was a spokesperson on the social media video promoting Walmart bringing the juice, to the campus. Okay. And see, then if you scroll down a little bit, it'll tell you. Yeah, right here it says Sanders confirmed. He's drank the Beetlejuice, and he's drank it for, he's had a drink of it for some time now. And so Coach Prime, he trusted in Esau, and he drank that Beetlejuice during that C-scandemic. Also, too, Coach Prime, was promoting the Beetlejuice for Esau. And so look at Coach Prime now. Look at his health. His health is deteriorating. Okay, his health is, going downhill. And you best believe, because of Coach Prime, basically being a Judas goat for Esau, he's caused others people, he's caused other people's health to decline as well. Okay, he's caused other people to, trust in this devil Esau. Okay, with that stuff, because again, he was promoting that stuff. He was at the college, at Jackson State College, promoting that stuff, and so he's basically caused others, to basically run down there to Esau and drink that stuff. Okay, and see, and not everybody has money like Deion Sanders, and so you already know. Know that people are having issues as a result of listening to Deion Sanders. Okay, but Deion Sanders, he promoted it. Okay, and he drank it, and he caused others. To do the same. And the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua is dealing with Deion Sanders. The Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua is judging Deion Sanders, and you just have to stand on the truth and call it like it is. But, Deion Sanders, again, his health is on a steady decline. And this is what happens when you trust in the devil, okay? Anytime you trust in the devil, it never ends well, okay? Anytime you trust in the devil versus trusting in the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua, it never ends well. And this is what Deion Sanders had done, okay? And he also, he encouraged others to do the same thing, Now, just like Deion Sanders, his health is on a steady decline. I know a lot of people. I have a lot of family members who trusted in this devil Esau with that stuff. Their health is also on a steady decline. And just like Deion Sanders, except my family members, they don't have money like Deion Sanders. but here it is. I have a lot of family members who ran down there to Esau, and they trusted in that stuff. During that C-scandemic, they drank that Beetlejuice during that C-scandemic. And here it is, I have a lot of family members. They're in and out of the hospital. They're having all types of health issues. I had one family member, he had to have an emergency surgery earlier this year, okay, to have his appendix removed. And there's no telling how many of those Beetlejuices that he had drank. I know he drank them. Because, he admitted to doing it. Also, too, I've had another family member. She drank them, and I think she even took her kids down there and allowed Esau to violate her kids with that Beetlejuice. And here it is. Shortly after she drank it, she ended up having to have her ovary removed. another family member of mine, I want to say they ended up getting some blood clots in their legs after drinking it. I've had some other family members, they even dropped dead. I mean, from cancer and heart attacks and whatnot after trusting in Esau with that stuff. I got another family member. She had to have a kidney removed. She ended up getting diabetes. I got another family member that's pre-diabetic. And see, again, this is what happens when you run down there and you trust in the devil. Okay? And see, here it is. A lot of our people, they lack faith. And so a lot of our people, they ran down there to Esau. And they trusted in Esau versus trusting in the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And, as a result of them trusting in the devil, it's not ending well for them. Their health is on a steady decline. And so, I saw this short news clipping, and I just thought that I would bring out a quick lesson because I've noticed, over the past 4 or 5 years, Coach Prime, his health has just been going downhill. Okay. But again, this is what happens when you trust in the enemy, versus trusting in the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Anytime you trust in the enemy, it never ends well. So what I'm going to go ahead on and do is I'm going to bring out a few scriptures and then we will end the lesson. Okay, the first scripture I want to go to is in the book of Proverbs, and this is chapter 16, and this is verses 18. And it reads, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And see, here it is, Coach Prime. He has a very proud spirit. He's a very proud man. Okay? But with that being said, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is taking that proud spirit away from Coach Prime. And the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is bringing Coach Prime down, bringing him down fast. Okay? Coach Prime, he's falling very fast because here it is over the past 4 to 5 years, his health has been on a steady decline. In and out of the hospital. They're constantly cutting on him and whatnot, slicing on him and removing this and removing that. Okay? The Lord hates a prideful spirit. And those by people, who don't want to humble down and repent, they're going to fall over here in Babylon the Great and wherever else they're scattered. Okay? Okay, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, and this is chapter 12, and this is verse 10. And it reads, never trust thy enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. And see, this is what many of our people did during that C-scam pandemic. Instead of trusting in the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, they ran down and they trusted in the enemy. They ran down to Esau, looking for Esau, who is the enemy, okay? They was looking for Esau to save them, okay? And a lot of our people, what they did was they ran down to Esau and they drank Esau's Maxine waters. And, those who trusted in this devil, with that drink, they basically got played. Because here it is, this devil Esau. He came up with that C-scam demic. And he came up with the Beetlejuice for the C-scam demic. And so those by people who ran down to Esau and they trusted in Esau with that Beetlejuice, they got played. Okay? And now as a result, okay, you're having people, they're dropping left and right. Okay, they're having all types of health issues and whatnot, all because they trusted in the enemy versus trusting in the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And like I was saying, I have a lot of family members who did that, who they ran down there and they trusted in this devil Esau with that stuff during that C-scam demic. And a lot of family members that I have, they're in and out of the hospital as a result. Okay, some of them have even dropped too, but they're having all types of health issues and whatnot. They're acting all goofy and stupid and weird and strange and whatnot, But this is what happens, when you trust in the devil, versus trusting in the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Anytime you trust in this devil versus trusting in the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, it never ends well. And Esau has proven time and time again that he is the enemy, This devil, he'll come to you, he'll smile in your face, he'll act like he like you, but you best believe, in the back of his mind, he's thinking of some type of wickedness, okay? He's thinking of some type of way to try to make you fall. And again, a lot of people, they fell for that drink, okay, that Esau came out with, during that C-scam demic. And we're seeing the outcome of what happens when you trust in the enemy versus trusting in the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Okay, this is Isaiah, this is chapter 30, and this is verse 1. And it reads, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover what they're covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Okay, and see, here it is, many of our people, they're rebellious. 2/3 of our people over here in Babylon the Great, they're rebellious as hell. They don't want to listen to the men of the Lord. They reject the words of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Abishah. Okay, and so the Most High says, woe, meaning destruction, to those of our people who are rebellious. And, during that sea scandemic, you had men of our people, they ran down into Esau and they drank that Beetlejuice. So basically what they did was they took counsel and they took a covering of this devil Esau versus taking a counsel and a covering of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Abishah. And we're seeing the outcome of what happens, when you trust in the devil versus trusting in the Lord Yahweh Bashim Abishah. We're seeing the outcome, okay? People dropping, left and right. And again, this is what happens when you trust in the devil versus trusting in the Lord Yahweh Bashim Abishah. Anytime you trust in this devil, it never ends well because, again, we're seeing what's happening to people. A lot of people's health is on a steady decline, okay? People dropping left and right, out here. But the warnings went out. And like I say, here it is. Many of our people, they ignored the warnings. You had, many of our people, they were mocking and scoffing at the men of the Lord, But the warnings went out. I had, family members, they came against me, because I tried to warn them not to, trust in this devil with that stuff. And I had family members that cussed me out, they didn't want me coming over and everything and whatnot, because I wouldn't follow their lead and run down there and allow this devil Esau to violate me with that stuff. And now here it is, those same family members that are having all types of issues and whatnot, in and out the hospital, health on the steady decline and whatnot, in and out of the hospital getting cut on and whatnot. Isaiah chapter 30, this is verse 2. It says, that walk to go down to Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And see, here it is. Many of our people, they put their faith and trust in Esau, who is the modern day Pharaoh, and they're, trusting in this system, of Esau's, versus trusting in the Lord. And that's totally going off because, again, Esau is the enemy. And Esau has proven it time and time again that he is the enemy. And the enemy is not to be trusted. Isaiah chapter 30, this is verse 3. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Okay? And see, those are our people who put their trust in Esau. Again, who was the modern day Pharaoh? Esau is the modern day Pharaoh. And again, those are our people who put their trust in Esau and that Beetlejuice of Esau's, was leading to their shame and their confusion. Because again, they're having all types of health issues. They're dropping left and right, and they out here looking through. But again, the warnings went out. Like I say, a lot of our people, they just ignored the warnings. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10. This is verse 8. It says, he that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Okay, and see, many of our people, they dug, their own pit, and they fell into it. When they put their trust in this devil Esau, with that stuff that he came out with during that sea scandemic, Here it is. Basically, many of our people, what they did was they basically dug their own graves, okay, when they trusted in this devil Esau with that stuff, versus trusting in the Lord Yahweh Bashim Abishah. Many of our people, they broke that hedge of protection, because they ran down under Esau and they drank this drink, okay? They got that snake bite, okay? Versus trusting in the Lord Yahweh Bashim Abishah. And as a result, look at what's happening to, men of our people as a result. Look at what's happening to Deion Sanders, over the past 4.5, 5 years or so, his health has just been on a steady decline. In and out of the hospital, constantly getting cut on, getting this removed, getting that removed, And see, and then, here it is. Every day you're hearing about, people, getting ill and whatnot. I know a lot of people that I went to school with, even family members, they're having all types of health issues and whatnot, suddenly becoming unalive and whatnot. And see, and here it is, just like how you had a lot of our people, they ran down there and they drink that drop sauce that Esau came out with, during that sea scandemic. You're going to have a lot of our people, they're going to run down there to Esau and get that MO to the T to the B, because here it is, many of our people, they lack faith. And as a result of, many of our people lacking faith, just like how they ran down there and they drank Esau's, Beetlejuice, you're going to have a lot of our people, they're going to run down there and get Esau's MO to the T to the B. And as a result, they're going to be missile food. It's going to lead to their destruction. Okay, this is Proverbs, and this is chapter 3. And I'm going to start in verse 5. And it reads, trust in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. And see, here it is, we're supposed to trust in the Lord and not lean on our own understanding. And the Lord says to never trust thy enemy. And again, this devil Esau has proven time and time again that he is the enemy. Okay? But what did our people do during that C-scandemic? They leaned on their own understanding, okay, and they put their trust in the enemy. They trusted in this devil Esau, okay? And as a result, a lot of people have dropped, okay? A lot of people are having all types of issues and whatnot, all because they trusted in the enemy versus trusting in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Proverbs chapter 3, and this is verse 6. It says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct our paths. And see, we're supposed to lean on the Lord and acknowledge, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua in all of our ways. And by acknowledging and putting, our faith and trust in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, he will keep us on a straight and righteous path, to avoid all of the different snares that this devil Esau is setting out here. And see, here it is. That Maxine Waters, that Esau came out with, for that C-scandemic, that was just one of Esau's many snares. And a lot of people got caught up into that snare. A lot of people got played, okay? And again, we're seeing the outcome of what happens when you trust in the devil, versus trusting in the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, anytime you trust in this devil, it never ends well. Okay, I got a few more scriptures. This is going to be my last few scriptures, and then we will end the lesson. This is Jeremiah, and this is chapter 25, and this is verse 4. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them. But ye have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear. Okay, and see, here it is. When Jeremiah was on the scene, okay, you had 2/3 by people back then. Okay, they didn't want to listen to Jeremiah, okay, when he was on the scene. And fast forward to the day, you got those same 2/3 spirits, okay, that are back here on the earth. They don't want to listen to the men of the Lord that are out here on the highways and hedges today. Because again, you had the men of the Lord out on the highways and hedges warning our people to stay clear of Esau and his drop sauce, okay? But many of our people, they ignored the warnings and they ran down to Esau and they drank that Beetlejuice that Esau came out with for that seed. And again, we're seeing the outcome of what happens when you trust in the enemy. It never ends well. Jeremiah chapter 25, and this is verse 5. It says, they said, turn ye again, now every one from his evil way and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua had given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. Okay? And see, with that being said, Israel, if you repent and return to the Father and the Son, stop doing evil, the Lord will deliver you out of Babylon the Great and not leave you over here to be destroyed. Okay, and you will get to inherit the new righteous kingdom and will have forever to enjoy it. However, with that being said, we already know that 2/3 of our people, they're not going to repent. 2/3 of our people, they're not going to return to the Father and the Son. So therefore, 2/3 of our people, they're going to perish over here in Babylon the Great. Okay, they're going to meet the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, this is Jeremiah chapter 25, and this is verse 6. And the reason, go not after other gods to serve them and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Okay, and see, here it is, many of our people, they're into serving other gods. And here it is, many of our people, they look at this devil Esau as being their higher power. And here it is, especially during that C-scandemic, you had a lot of our people, they ran down into Esau, looking for Esau to save them, not realizing that Esau was behind the whole thing. Esau was behind the C-scandemic. He was behind that Beetlejuice. And a lot of our people, they looked to Esau to save them. versus looking to the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And as a result, it's not ending well for a lot of our people. A lot of our people are having all types of issues and whatnot. A lot of our people have dropped left and right, okay? All because they put their trust and they put their trust in Esau, okay? Here it is. As I was saying, a lot of our people, they fear this devil Esau more so than they do the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Not realizing that the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is in control of all things, including these devils, And see, here it is. You had a lot of our people, they were promoting that Beetlejuice for Esau. They were trying to get others to drink it, And those of our people who did that, those of our people who ran down there and trusted in Esau with that stuff, and they promoted that stuff, what they were doing was they were provoking the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to anger. They provoked the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to anger. And you're seeing the outcome, okay? They're getting judged. They're getting caught into the judgments of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Because a lot of our people, who did that, they're having all types of issues and they're dropping left and right, But again, anytime you trust in the devil versus trusting in the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, it never ends well. It never ends well. And a lot of our people, they did that. They trusted in this devil Esau versus trusting in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And as a result of them trusting in Esau, okay, they provoked the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to anger. And a lot of our people who did that, they're dropping left and right. They're having all types of issues and whatnot, health issues, And again, these are judgments coming from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And so that's pretty much the point. I'm going to go ahead and end off here. I hope it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Kwam Yasharah and Abba Baba. Shalom.